Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Xesray Studios Combatants Fight for Glory Berenice, the Event 2026 exclusive. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. For more than 2 years now, Articulated Empire has become your trusted online retailer. They carry all the latest lines like Mythic Legion, Savage Crucible, Marvel Legends, NECA, and much, much more. They ship your items quickly and securely. You'll be quite happy how Steve and his team follow through with their care and attention. Articulated Empire also offers free shipping over $75 and no tax except for Illinois residents. So head over to articulatedempire.com today and build your empire. There's not really any product shots on the back of the package, nor a list of her accessories, just a silhouette of the figure and a fairly deep write-up. So if you want to pause it and give it a read, you certainly can. Now, the event exclusive means that she comes in a new colorway, which is this silver and sort of teal look, and I really like this look. The other version that's out right now is a red and gold version, and honestly, I do not know if these figures are updates from the figures that came out in like 2022, if the bodies have been updated. I don't know. I wasn't collecting any of these figures back then. I wasn't following the company, so I don't know if there is a marked difference between these figures and in 2022. I would imagine that it probably has been updated at some point to the newer body. Maybe the one that was used with Hilder that we took a look at last year, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But other than the exclusive colorway, you are getting different weapons as well, as these weapons are not featured in the gold and red version. I did make sure before I started this review how the two were different, and then these came in a pack, and so that just seals it. These were extra in the photographs, but in seeing that they have been bagged and thrown in, that means they already had the tray designed and the shape of the shield and what weapons came. See your swords over here. So yeah, these are the exclusive parts to this particular colorway. So let's get everything out of the package and take a closer look. All right, starting off with the accessories that come with Berenice. We're going to start off with her hands. She has some splayed open hands, just like that. We also have some gesturing hands, or just relaxed hands, like those. We have two punchies for when she's fighting in the arena, and then we have two bare feet, which are sculpted very nice. Getting those out of the way, we do have her really nice helmet. I love the paint job on here. I love how it looks very, very metal. You see it's got some weathering and some stress and some hammering marks, but it's all this very soft, rubbery plastic, which I really like. I can't say that I have ever seen this dual feather design before, kind of like the feather has been split down the middle, like the mohawk of the feather is split down the middle and it's curved down the sides. It's really interesting. It's got a nice spray in the middle. It's got a dark wash on it, but I wouldn't have minded some lighter highlights to further bring those out. But I like that sort of, is that like a horse head design on the front of her helmet? And you can see it's got some little spikes on there. It looks delicate, but also deadly at the same time. Let's take a look at the shield that comes with her and the other version of Berenice. Again, we see like this winged horse motif. I really like the pattern that goes all the way around. That's nice. That looks really cool. You've got some hammering and some weathering, not lots of like little nicks and cuts. This thing has seen some battle. And then I love this style. It makes it very easy to put this on and take it off, which I really like. And it looks like there's even a little bit of wash on the back, which not necessary, but a little nice touch of detail that they added. And then here is the exclusive shield. So you do have like the small little cutouts for being able to attack around your shield. This one has, you know, the much more pronounced. You know how like you can hide behind your shield and like attack through it, protecting yourself. So that you have much larger cutouts. That silver and gold is pretty much the same silver and gold used here. It looks really nice. This is very clean. This says not a lot of hammering, so maybe it was crafted by a more skilled master shield maker. And not a lot of wash, but there is a little bit of wash in the design, and the gold looks really nice. Same style of whole strap system on the back, and hopefully you guys can notice there's some weathering and a wash on the leather. I mean, again, definitely not necessary, but nice. And the way it's designed, you can put this on the left or the right arm. That's always a plus. We do get two very similar but also different style swords here. You can see how the blades are different. You can see how the handles are different. One has got a brown handle, one's got the teal leather straps wrapped around it. Both have a nice wash and a dull satiny finish to them, and they look really nice. I like both of these. Then we get the main spear that she comes with, and this comes in two pieces, so you can plug it together and have a nice wash and weathering on the ends, the brown shaft, the blue wraps, and it looks really cool. And then we have the more combat ready spear. I love like the tip of this with a little hit of gold and the brown. It just looks really, really good. I like this too, and I don't think any part of this comes apart the way this does. But that's really cool. So there is a closer look at all of the accessories and weapons that come with Berenice. All right, and here is a look at Berenice herself, and I have to say I always forget how cool these figures are until I open one up and get it in my hand, because it seems like so long ago when I got the gold Hilder figure, and then that figure left a little bad taste in my mouth because I ended up breaking her arm, and it took probably 5 months before I got a replacement from 5K Toys. 5K Toys, it's the second time I've had to deal with their customer service, and it is just extremely slow and it's just a slow process. They came through in both instances, but both instances was 5, 6, 7 months of waiting for replacement parts. So as long as you're patient, if you don't mind being patient, continue to buy from them just in case something goes wrong. But I did get a male combatant earlier this year, and we took a look at that. He was really nice, and I am digging this figure. I'm glad that this offering is different than the Hilder in that she's more of like this Roman gladiator warrior versus Hilder being more of a barbarian. But man, the armor is just beautiful. I love that we have a asymmetrical design from the waist up. The gauntlets are different. The shoulder pauldrons are different. I love the way that the tassels are all separate, and you've got like this hip armor. It just looks really nice. All the tassels in the back are completely separate and individual and all soft and will move and get out of the way. You have a sort of like a half sheath for her sword, and you can tuck it in. You can have that rotate left or right. You can see this crossing of the straps in the back, and man, she just looks great. So let's get her off the rotating base, get this out of the way, and then take a closer look. Now, you know, several of my friends were making like kind of a big deal about her face and about how like she really wasn't like her features were not really soft and delicate, and that she kind of looked a little mannish. But I have to say, like in hand, I think they're kind of wrong. I kind of think that she does have some softness to her and a delicateness to her, especially like if you remove the upper part of her hair. To me, this looks even better. She looks even more feminine, and I think the detail around the eyes, yeah, I don't know. I just think it looks really good. I think the paintwork is very clean and crisp. She has a softness to the paint around her cheeks and lips. I don't know, man. I'm digging it. I do like this head sculpt. But again, the hair is an extra piece, just like Hilder, so that it can be removed and the helmet can be put on. So let's see, since we have the hair piece off, how that works. You just slide that right on. Helmet looks really nice. You can see large enough eye holes to be able to see her eyes through the slits. And I think that looks really cool. And yeah, for sure, this lady, she's ready to go into battle. I don't know how protected her chest is, but she does look fierce. And I do like that helmet. I think I might have preferred this helmet without the feather plume, to be honest. I think the plume is a little distracting. I wish it was removable, but other than that, I do like the helmet. Let's put the hair back on. And one of the cool things is you can see where it starts the ponytail, like right here, and then as it plugs in, the part just lays right over the top of the ponytail. And there's some nice dry brushing, weathering, lighter hair, like some highlights in the hair. It comes out over her ear on this side. You just want to make sure that it's lined up and that peg is going into the hole on the back of her head. And you can kind of feel when it pops in. You just press that. It's not really thick plastic or rubber. You can kind of feel when it sets in place. Like I said, the shoulder pauldrons are really nice. You've got some really cool like leather texture and wash in there to bring out the different tones of the leather. You have this beautifully sculpted face and head relief on the shoulder pauldron, which looks really cool. It does look like it is, so it looks like it's plugged in and you can remove that. So if you wanted, can you remove this one? Yeah, you can remove them both. They both just kind of plug in. You just want to be careful, make sure that you're not going to tear that rubber in any way. And then, yeah, you can remove the upper arms, the shoulder pauldrons for the upper arms. Now, I wonder if that means you can also remove. You just want to be very careful with doing that, because this is where my other female figure broke, and you can remove that, and you just want to be careful. Pop those back on, and you can go without the armor if you'd like and give her that look if you wanted to go without the shoulder pauldrons or the straps across her chest. It does make this armor seem like it's sitting a little lower, but yeah, it does look cool. You can do that. I don't think I had that clicked in properly. This is just where you want to be careful, because this is what broke on my first Hilder, and I thankfully I had a buddy of mine who had an extra and give it to me, and then I did get this eventually replaced. So now I'm afraid this armor is going to fall off. So you've got like metal plates wrapped around the teal fabric with some leather straps. Again, that is removable. So we're going to remove that. We are going to take her down to the bare necessities here because I want to see how her body underneath compares to the Hildur body. So you've got, again, another really nice gauntlet with that metal work, and the design on there looks hammered and weathered and nice. You have these little bands that you can remove as well. And you can see that it has left some paint rub, unfortunately, on the body, and I'm going to try to clean that. But knowing that there is also paint on the body, I have to be careful with how I go about cleaning that, because I don't want to end up removing the tone of the body the body color. Let's see here. You have that face down here again, some more of the curved metal work on the shin plating. I don't know, do we call those? I always thought this part was called a greave, but are these called greaves as well? I don't know. What is the lower part of shin armor called? You can tell that these have never been removed. So you just want to be careful, and I'm quite sure this is going to leave a little bit of paint rub. Probably getting them off the first time is always going to be an ordeal. Afterwards, it'd probably be a lot easier. The feet look really nice with the little sandals. And look, like the buckles are painted. There's a little rivet on the back and on the side that are painted gold. Very nicely detailed. Another little horse motif right here on the belt, which I really dig that too. And yeah, all right. So then this piece, she should pop apart right here at the upper waist. We're going to remove this piece of armor here. It's very soft. It looks like there's a little hole there, so I'm wondering, yeah, it looks like there's a little notch right there to where these two seat together, and they'll sort of kind of move as one. And then we're going to remove that. And then we're going to go back here with this and taking her down to, sorry, I don't need a sensor bar, to the bare necessities here. This is the body for Hildur, and it looks to me like it is the same underbody as well. I'm not noticing any sort of differences. You can see the more darker brown skin tone, like the mocha colored skin tone here, where hers is a little more like olive, like an olive skin tone, which is a little more appropriate, given their region of the world that they were in. So that makes a little more sense. But I do like the skin tone on here. So yeah, let's go about getting her a little more modest and back in her armor and see how she poses up. All right, so now that she is more clothed, I wanted to go over the articulation with all of her gear on, because I feel like that's how she's probably going to be displayed on most of our shelves. And that way you can see how she moves with everything on. So even with the helmet, she can look up that far. She can look down that far. You've got full range of motion, bobble, tilt, whatever you want. Removing the head, going back with the hairpiece. Getting that back on. Yeah, there we go. I don't think that's going to hinder the hair or the head movement at all. Let's see here. Yep, she can go out and hit that T-pose, no problem. The shoulder pads are very easily going to get out of the way, even if you want to go all the way around. Everything is soft and pliable, and I don't feel like that arm is going to fall off at all anymore. Like, I even pulled it off to put the straps back on, and it even came apart in a different place, which means that cuff snapped in there really well. So there is no upper bicep cut as to not disrupt the anatomy, but it does, as you can see, rotate on that cuff. The shoulder is on a cuff that rotates around the joint, which is really nice. You don't get full total rotation, but you get enough. You have single joint at the elbow, but look at that. That's crazy. It goes way past 90, even on a single joint. You do get rotation. You've got hinge and swivel, so no need to worry about vertical or horizontal hinges at the wrist. You saw where she comes apart at the chest, and she does have, there's only one, as you saw earlier, there's no joint at the waist, so the only articulation point is up here at the chest. So if she leans back, she has to be very careful, or she's going to get a copyright strike. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there's her bending forward, no rotation at the waist, no upper thigh cut, but she does rotate the hip on that cuff even better than the shoulder rotates. You do have double jointed knees go all the way back. You have no rotation at the knee, no calf swivel as to not break up the articulation, and then hinge, swivel, and forward facing pin down there at the feet. So you're getting a lot of mobility in this figure. Like, she moves and feels very, very nicely. So let's do a couple of size comparisons, because, you know, as that 1/12 scale, it's kind of all over the place. So let's do a little size comparisons and see how she scales with other female figures from other compatible lines. Okay, for some other Xesray comparisons, here she is next to a male combatant, and then here she is next to Hildur. And I believe we've taken a look at both of these figures on the channel before. You can go back in the archives and check out the reviews, and you can see that she scales perfectly in with these. So if you wanted to have her fight him or fight alongside of him, you certainly could. So I think those are some really nice ones to start with. Man, I got a lot of stuff over here. If you wanted to bring her in with a couple of other ladies from different legendary lines, here we have the icon heroes for Zeta Girls. Tigra, that's the version 1 Tigra. Here she is with the legendary barbarian from Mythic Legions, where she's going to be a little bit taller. The Mythic Legions figure is going to be a little bit taller here. They're going to scale more towards that 7-inch scale. But you can see how she scales with those two. Let's get these out of the way. Let's see here. If you wanted to bring her in to your Savage Crucible line, here is the Dravarthi Sentinel. She looks really good compared to him, I think. Kind of fits in nicely. If you wanted to put her in some sort of arena with some lizard men, you certainly could. If you wanted to bring her into a different style of, combat, here she is against the Storm, the legend, Jade Cargill from Mattel. She fits in very nicely with those. And if you wanted to bring her in against some animals, here she is against like the Marvel Legends Zabu, who I have custom painted. And then here she is with the beasts of the Mesozoic or Cyberzoic. Here is the Creative Beast Studios Smilodon. So if you wanted to have her take on some beasts in the arena, you certainly could do that. Like I said, I always seem to forget just how amazing these figures are until I get a new one and open them up and get them in hand. And I gotta tell you, I'm really digging this one. I knew I loved Hildur because she was a barbarian. I didn't know how I was gonna feel about Berenice being a gladiator, but I went for the teal color because I really like that color combo of the silver and the teal. Teal's my wife's favorite color too. She has brown hair like this. So I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one. I don't feel the need to pick up the gold and red one. She does look nice. And, I have seen pictures of a 2022 LA Comic-Con version that's black and gold. The armor would probably fit, but I'm sure the body has been upgraded. But somebody out there who collects Xesray and who has collected these Combatants for Glory figures for a long time, let me know in the comments down below exactly, whether or not the body has been updated. I really, really like this figure. It's a solid, well-made figure, and when you consider the price points around $55, I mean, you're getting a lot of stuff for a fairly low price point for a figure of this size, of this articulation, that moves this well with the amount of quality painted accessories that you're getting. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Do you plan on picking this figure up? Did you get the red and gold version? Which version's your favorite? And do the Combatants Fight for Glory figures fit in with what you collect on your shelf? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check us out over at Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector, Mark, and I'll see you in the toy aisles.